project today, I'm going to work on this Samsung washing machine. We've had this washing machine for about 2 years now, and it's worked very well, except the inside tub seems like it's moving around a little bit too much, and the washer gets out of balance and it'll throw an error code. So actually I did the research on it and found out that the Samsung washing machines do have a problem. 4 legs, one on each side, and the legs are like on small springs, and that is supposed to stabilize that tub as it's going around, especially if you have some larger loads inside it. What happens is those legs notoriously start to wear out. The springs start to wear out, which gives the tub more room to bounce around, and it really gets out of control and throws a code that shuts the washing machine down. The washing machine doesn't actually tear up and really cause a lot of damage now. And I'm really kind of surprised because we've really been happy with it, but it's just like anything else. If you got a problem with it, you got to fix it. Now I could call repairman, and I may end up calling a repairman if I can't do this myself. But I am not a small appliance repairman, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot and see if I can do this or not. It's coming right up. Okay, let me show you kind of what's going on. Uh-oh, look out. If you're going to work on it, first thing you should do is unplug it. This tub inside here is on the legs that have springs on them, and the tub on the inside is really loose, and it bounces a lot, and I'm thinking that this definitely didn't do this when we first got the washing machine, and it's just over 2 years. I think these springs have worn out, so I'm going to go ahead and replace it. The model of this washing machine that I'm going to work on is WA5. Now I'm not sure if that fourth one is a 0 or if that is a O, but I'm just going to call it a 0, WA50 R5200 AW/US. That's a Samsung model washing machine. Okay, here are the legs that I'm talking about with the springs at the bottom. Now, when I did my research, I noticed that the springs, the factory springs, the legs, the rod, and the springs that come with this unit aren't quite as beefy as the new springs that I bought here. These are a new and improved model that they've come up with that they say is going to hold a little bit better than the factory springs themselves. So you can see they're pretty heavy duty. They've got a couple extra features on them here. We're going to go ahead and replace this. It should be fairly simple. It sounds like maybe one leg might give me trouble. Maybe the one up front has a hose wrapped around it, but we'll deal with that when we get there. Alright, well this is the springs. Now I got these on Amazon for $63 for all 4 of them. What's amazing about that is I did call my local appliance dealer. They've been in business a very long time here in the city, and I asked them how much would it cost, do they have these in stock, and how much were they. He quoted me for the factory ones, not the new and improved version, but the factory ones. He quoted me $65 a piece. I got these, all 4 of them, for $63 on Amazon. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. That just seems to me like that's egregious, how much difference in price there was. I got to be careful because you always have to compare apples to apples. So maybe the ones that he had were the actual original Samsung, and these are an aftermarket brand right here. I'm all for going with something that looks like it's been improved a little bit because I don't want to have to do this every 2 years on this washing machine. Let's start taking it apart and see what happens. Okay, to start out, we're going to go ahead and take out these two screws on either side. Different ways to actually do this, and I've watched quite a few videos and I've done some research on it. I think the best way for me to handle it is going to be to go ahead and take off, even before I remove this top, I'm going to go ahead and take off this back panel right here and just look and see, because I think there's a possibility I might be able to replace these back legs without trying to get this whole top off here, because there's a pretty good access once I take these off. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these screws right here. Remember to have your washing machine unplugged so you don't touch any wires and the possibility of electrocution. Call your local appliance repairman, have him come out and do this. If you're not anxious about working on things yourself, that'd probably be the best bet. I always like to at least give it a shot and see if I can't do it myself. There we go. So there's your access panel, and it comes off. I can see I have access to the rods right here. Well, you can see that thumb is wiggly. It's sure wiggly in there, up and down. It seems pretty loose, so I'm hoping this repair is going to work. Okay, I've got the back panel off, and there's the spring leg going up. Now here's some hoses that are actually connected to it, and you can see that little clip right there is actually clipped on the actual rod right here, so that's going to have to be taken off. And then this other side looks pretty easy. There's your spring leg. It goes all the way up to the top up there. Okay, you can see up in there, there is where it connects up, comes down, and goes into a slot here at the bottom. So what I'm thinking is, I haven't seen this done, but I'm just wondering if I can't get in there and try to take care of this without lifting the back of this top up. Most of the research I saw said you have to remove this top all the way off in order to have access to those back legs. I'm just wondering if I can't access it from behind the washer and see if I can't lift them off there. Now here's something I just noticed. You see that black, I don't know what it'd be called, some kind of a washer, coned washer? It looks like to me like it should be sitting down on this top area right here, and it is not. If I come over here, even this one looks like it has been removed from the top where it should be seated. So I kind of wonder if maybe that's not part of the problem here. That's allowing this machine to like jump up and down because that is not holding anymore. Replace them, put the new ones on, and see if maybe that won't make a difference. Now you can see that that tub really wants to bounce up and down. And those, now the one thing is, if you notice I've got gloves on because there's a lot of grease on these, especially the existing legs that came with the washing machine. There's a lot of grease on it, so I want to be sure and cover my hands. In fact, I think I'm going to go get some paper towel and try to keep this mess at a minimal if possible. I think in order to do this, okay, that won't come out. Okay, yeah, so the rod's got to go down in order to come out. So I'm going to have to try to disconnect the top one first. So what I noticed is that that rod is going up and going into a slot, and that's where that top piece hangs on. And I can grab the rod and I can pull it up, but I can't get enough pressure on it up to get it out because the top of the washing machine is hitting that little washer, and it won't allow it to come all the way out. So I think I am going to have to take the top off, at least loose, so I can lift the top up to get enough room to get it up and get it out, in order to try to replace them here on the very back. You can see where the top will come out if it wasn't for that little piece that's hanging down where that wire is coming out of it. So I think I'm going to have to loosen the top in order to get this out. But the other side looks like it would lift out. Let me show you it. Okay, so there's the other side, and it looks to me, like it might lift out without raising that top up. I think I'm going to give that a shot and see what that does. Yeah, I gave it a shot trying to remove those legs from behind the washing machine, but they're just a little bit too tight. So I think I'm going to go ahead and have to loosen this top up to get it up a little bit at least, in order to have access in there where I could lift those up and get them out of the groove that's in there. Now, word of caution, you can see right here, everything in the washing machine is sharp. All those edges back there are super sharp. So you got to be careful that you don't get a pretty good gouge. That was just pressure from trying to lift up that rod and leaning against the steel part of the washing machine, and the edges are sharp. So to start out with, there's 2 screws. You have 2 caps right here, and there's 2 screws that need to come out. Rubber gaskets. There's the back panel that's been removed. Now I've got a couple screws here and here on both sides, and when I lift it, that should give me enough right there to lift up just enough in order to get those brackets to unhook underneath there. Let's see if this is going to work. Uncharted territory here. Now, of course, if your washing machine was still under warranty, you would not want to be doing this. You'd want to call warranty department, have a repairman come out and do it, because this may actually be voiding the warranty. On this washing machine here, we had a 1-year warranty, parts and labor, and it's done. Might make an argument for the extended warranty. Might be, if you get a Samsung washer, you're thinking about buying a Samsung washer, you might want to get an extended warranty, because this is a problem that happens to a lot of them, if not most of them. Having trouble getting that screw out of there, so I guess I'm just going to leave it at this point. Okay, so that right there is quite a bit. It feels like that screw's kind of holding up still a little bit. Okay, so there we go. There we go. That should be enough to okay. That should be enough. So let me get some shims. I can put some shims in there whenever I lift that up. Put some shims in there to hold that up, and let's see if those legs won't come loose. Okay, it's like I say in all my videos, you know, I do a lot of things professionally. I'm a professional painter. I do a lot of other things professionally, but appliance repairman, I am not. So I am just kind of fumbling through this and see if this is going to work. But so far, so good. I'm pretty happy with the progress on it. Okay, so that'll hold that side up right there. Let me do the same on the other side. Now that I have that lifted up, let's see if maybe I can't get this rod out of here. Oh, and that's nice. Yeah, I just noticed I have access now. I can actually see it. Let me show you. Okay, before I could not see it, but that little pink cap in there, that's what needs to slip out of there, so at least I can see if it's going. On this side here, you can see I've almost got that cap lifted all the way. That purple cap in there is lifted all the way up, so I think this might work. Let's give it a shot. There's how much I have that one lifted up. And the same on this side. Reach in there and grab this rod right here. I'm going to try to lift it. Okay, I can lift it up. Plenty of room. Now it's just a matter of lifting it and taking it toward the drum itself. There it goes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This was explained to me as the hardest one to get out of there. This guy right there. So there it is. Boy, that does have some sticky stuff on it. And you can see this is a factory one. And the one I'm going to put in there are a lot beefier than this one right here. So for whatever reason, this one seems to fail. Well, we've had this one only 2 years, and this spring feels pretty tight, but hopefully this will be a fix for it. And I see there's plenty of grease on there. So I can look up in there and see there's plenty of grease left. So I'm not going to try to grease the new ones. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in there and see what happens. Let me get rid of this one here because this is a slimy mess. I don't even want to touch my camera. Okay, so this is the new one. And you can see they claim it's new and improved. And you can see that probably this right here helps keep the spring from going too far, from bottoming all the way out. It's got a little thicker rod on it here than what came with the original, which probably makes it more stiff so the rod doesn't want to bow on the inside. So we're going to see if this works. As I said, there is plenty of grease up in there on both slots. I don't have to worry about any grease on there. That looks like that fits okay. And now all I've got to do is lift this up. And there we go. There we go. As easy as that. That's pretty amazing that I was able to do that easily. So hopefully the rest of them, that is supposed to be the toughest one of all. So hopefully the rest of them go pretty easy. Let me change the camera angle a little bit and show you just a couple things about this one. If you're going to do this project, be sure if you've got any kind of carpet or any kind of nice tile or anything like that, grout lines, you'd want to be sure and put a drop cloth down because this grease, I can tell, it's the kind of grease, if it gets anywhere, it's going to be a mess. It's going to stain, it's not going to come out. So on this rod right here, you see that little clear hose? It kind of just wraps all the way around that rod and goes on up to the top of the washing machine. When I put that new rod in there, I just kind of inserted it so it would kind of just wrap all the way around. I did not take it loose from the machine itself. Now it does have a little clip right here, and that little clip is going to go right. That little clip is going to go in that hole right there, so that'll go on, and then the actual green hose will connect onto the rod with that little clipping right there. Every time I've got to adjust my camera, I have to take these gloves off because they're just so greasy. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, let's make it an attempt to get this other one out. I feel pretty good now. That's the hardest one, came out that easy. I feel pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to grab this rod right here and I'm going to lift straight up. There it goes. Comes out. Let your tub down easy. Comes right out of the slot. There we go. Comes right on out. Here's that part that I was showing you, is that it looks to me like this little piece right here, yeah, it clipped on there, and that you could see how high, and so that shows you how far that drum was probably jumping up and down. And you can tell these just aren't built as well as the ones I'm putting in right now. Hopefully this is going to work out pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go out, take this one out to the shop. I don't want this slimy stuff getting anywhere. Woo! It is Slimeville. So that's how the bottom's going in. It's going in, and I lift it up like this right here, put it in place. The top one will be about right here, so you have to lift up on it, bring it in, and set it down. And it takes a little bit of strength to do it, so if you're not real strong with your hands and your arms, you probably are going to struggle with this. You might have to get somebody to maybe help you with it. Connect, and they just sit in there real nice too. And the fact that I can see through the top right here makes a huge difference. But it takes a little bit of booty power right here to lift this up, because you have to get it up above the pink. There we go. Ooh, that was a little bit of a struggle. That was a struggle. It was like it was going up, but it was hitting, and you have to get it up above that whole cap. You can't just get it above the flared part of the cap. It has to go up above the whole cap until it's just the rod showing. Get it in there and drop it back down. So that was a little bit of a struggle to do that. But there we go. And boy, look at that. I can already tell that is so much stronger. I think part of it is the rods themselves are a little bit bigger in diameter. Let's see if I can lift up the front, get the front ones in. We'll be in pretty good shape. I'm confident enough that this is going to work. I'm going to go ahead and put this back panel back on there. JB's Barnyard. Best ice cream in the nation. So first of all, you've got to put it underneath here and slide it up. And then there's some slots in the bottom. Hey, look out. There's some slots in the bottom then that will hook into play. You know, I saw something where somebody said that having a repairman come out and do this repair for you is going to run you about $300, and one person said it was as much as $500. So I don't know. I would think probably a bare minimum would be $200 to have them come out and repair this. So if I can do it for $63, I'm going to have a pretty good day. Going ahead and taking these shims off the back, letting that back go back down, because really all I want to do is lift this up in order to get to those front legs. So I'm going to see if maybe I can do this. I'll have access for it. I'm not sure this is going to work like this. Maybe I'll try leaving those. Okay. I think I'm going to have enough access to get in there and get to these doing it that way. So let me go get a couple 2x4 blocks and put them in there. You can tell I'm a carpenter. Everything I do is with wood shims or blocks and things like that. I think that's going to give me enough room right there. There went my shims. Okay. Yep. Uh-oh. And there went my top. Alright. You gotta be careful here. Gotta be careful. Can you kind of tell I'm not a trained professional at this? But it's working. Let's see what happens here. Lift this up a little bit more. Okay. There, I've got my 2 blocks in there, and I think I've got enough access to reach down in here and grab this. Okay, so there is the top one. That is the right one, right front leg. And I come over here, and there is the left one right there. So once again, the process is exactly the same. I'll reach down in there, then I'll pull it up, take it out, disconnect it from the bottom, slip it back in, lift it up, put it back into place, Boom, I think we'll have it. You know, that's the thing about YouTube. You have to watch a lot of different videos in order to get the right one, the one that you know is going to work for you. Once again, there are different videos on Samsung washer machines on YouTube. Check them out. This is one that I'm doing right now. This is February 2023. This is about a 2020, 2021 model. And so far, so good. Everything's working. Okay, let's see if I can't get these out right here. Now, you know, I was looking at the way this machine is sitting here. It would be nice if I had an assistant standing behind it, because I don't want this whole top to slide off, because I think it could crash a bunch of wires and do the water hoses and everything else. So I'm going to try not to touch the top. So if you happen to do it this way, just be careful. This may not be the best way to anchor this. Alright, so I'm just going to lift this up. Ooh, now you got to watch, because there are a lot of sharp edges in here. Yep, that's going to be difficult. I can tell right now, because I need more access to lift it up. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get this top up just a little bit higher. A lot of sharp edges everywhere. Okay, I was able to lift the top up a little bit farther, move my 2x4s back just a little bit. Let's see if I can't have access. What I really need is just one arm in there to make a good grab. Almost. And I put two in there. Okay, there we go. Alright. Got that one off. Okay. There we go. Alright, look at that. Look at that slimy stuff they got on there. That's amazing. It's just sticky. It's real sticky. I want to get that on the floor for sure. Let me just kind of show you. Here's the difference. This is kind of a side-by-side comparison. So there's the bottoms. You can see it's a little bit different. The rods themselves are, one is a little thicker. The new one's a little thicker than the other one. Now it looks to me like the tops are almost exactly the same. So it's just the rod is a little thicker and the bottoms are designed a little differently. And I'm sure this is to keep it from bottoming out all the way. It's almost like in a pickup truck under suspension. A lot of times they'll have a big solid piece of rubber, or the chassis doesn't bottom out on the frame, or vice versa, whichever way that would work on a vehicle. That's kind of what that looks like right there. So let me go take this one out before I make a real mess. So we're going to replace this one the same way. The bottom will go down in there. Let me tell you what, let me get my little light so I can see. Okay. Yeah, you definitely need a light to see what's going on. But once you get a light down in there, you can definitely see, bam, it's all hooked up. So now I'm just going to lift this baby up. Try not to get my fingers in there and get them smashed. I guess that could be a problem. Lift it up in there, bring it in, and then let it down. Boom. Right in place. Okay, we'll get the other one done and we'll be finished up. The left side one went on just as smooth as the other side. So it's time to go ahead and put everything back together. And I can get on a load of laundry here shortly. Alright, so that'll come down like that. So then this top basically just fits back on just like that right there. Fasten down this control panel. Hey, I appreciate you coming to the channel. That's LAF Space Film Fest. That's capital LAF Space Film Fest. Hey, if you would, hammer down that subscribe button. I appreciate it. I'll continue to work on little videos like this. Hey, in case you've got a Samsung washer, 2020, somewhere in that area, if it's making a lot of noise and it's really bouncing around and it's an unbalanced error, this is what you might want to do. We use this washing machine a lot. We do a lot of blankets, quilts, things like that in there. So I'm thinking it was probably partially our fault that we probably wore them out sooner than they probably would have if you just do light loads all the time. Might save you some money. Be careful, sharp edges everywhere, and be sure, no matter what, to wear gloves, because that is some sticky stuff they have on there. The nice thing is they put enough of it on there I didn't have to reapply, because you could tell there was plenty in the slots where the pieces slipped back into. Almost made a rookie error. I thought I just had these two to hold this panel back on, but I remembered right at the very end that I had loosened up the ones that actually hold the top. So that probably would have caused a lot of rattling and a lot of problems here down the road. You know, it's good to always pay attention to what you're doing and focus on it. Times that's why it's better to be working alone, because you can concentrate on it the whole time, and you just know, something like that may jump into your mind, where if somebody was talking, might have put this all back together, started it up, and the top's rattling, I wouldn't have any idea what was going on. Eventually I would have figured it out. That is an LG Energy Star dryer, Energy Star washer, the refrigerator, the stove, Energy Star. All the light bulbs in the cabin are LEDs. Very important, I think, to be sure and save that energy, because it just ticks down your utility bill every time you do something like that. The refrigerator we had was 20 years old. I did the research on it, and by buying the new Samsung refrigerator, Energy Star refrigerator, just the amount of savings, the energy savings, is paying for that refrigerator. In somewhere between 5 and 7 years, that refrigerator is going to pay for itself just in energy savings. So to me, it's like a free refrigerator. Think about that next time you buy an appliance. Buy the good Energy Star. It's going to cost you a little bit, but you'll have instant savings coming in on your utility bill. Okay, last thing is, let's see. Oh yeah, definitely, I can't even push it down. It still wants to go sideways, back and forth, but as far as pushing it down, there's no give at all. So I think what it was doing, I think it was jumping like this as the washing machine went around. Yeah, it feels so much better. I think when we first got the washing machine, I think it felt like this right here. And it's just over time, it's just those springs wear out. So I hope this helps you out. I hope this saves you some money. Hey, I appreciate you coming to the channel, and I hope you have a good laundry day. Hey, I just want to give a little update on the washing machine. Since I replaced the legs on it, it works so good. Way better than when it was even brand new. You can see right now it's in the spin cycle, and it is just so quiet. It was never this quiet. So anyways, there you go. If you have a Samsung washer and it's messing around and it's jumping around, it's making a lot of noise, and it's throwing that unbalanced code at you and shutting down, I highly suggest you give it a try. It wasn't necessarily a super easy project, so if you need to hire somebody, don't worry about it. It's way better than tearing your entire washing machine totally up. There she goes. Okay, you have a good day. Appreciate you coming by.